everyone. So carrying on going over this discharge letter now, which I'm very unhappy with, which is why I'm complaining. There are other reasons for a complaint, by the way. It's just basically just the end of the straw. I mean, this goes back a long way. There are lots of other, there are catalogues of, there's a whole catalogue of, what's the word? Bad experiences. Risk statement. Risk to self. There are no significant risks, as although she lives alone in a house, Anna is significantly supported by her father, who lives in the adjacent house. Okay, so so I suppose one would hope anyone reading that will put two and two together and say, well, actually there could be significant risks if my father's no longer around, for example, and they should be mitigating against that. So at least it explains the context, but like I said, I would say there are significant risks. There might not be any at this point in time, but there are significant risks, because if something happened to my dad, I am basically fucked. So of course there are significant risks. So that really is not actually accurate. Again, risk to others, no significant risks. Risk of vulnerability and self-neglect, no significant risks. Well, I disagree with that. I am at risk of vulnerability. I'm at risk of extreme vulnerability. That's a load of absolute crap. I might have to phone the secretary and ask this to be amended, because I'm seriously not happy with some of these details. A bit like I did with my other letter, which yet again I'm going to have to phone up the clinic to ask them to edit a discharge letter, which I'm not happy with. It's like, how many times do you go right? Inaccuracies on my reports. It's getting frustrating. As I say, thankfully with my diagnosis letter, yeah, I'm thinking of doing that after this actually. I'm getting fed up with it, but seriously, I'm going to have to do it because I'm just not happy. Because if you ask me, it's inaccurate. I don't like inaccurate shit being written about me when it's not true. I am at risk. So how dare he write something that's not correct? It really takes a piss out of my experience and what I'm going through. Being housebound and no one here, that's a risk. So, yeah, I'm going to be on to the clinic in a moment. Seriously annoying. Okay, next one. It's like they must be getting so fed up with me phoning now, but but seriously, like I'm being put through. It's like I'm being put through a grinder, you know. Just getting ridiculous. Any current adult or child safeguarding? No. And then it says contingency crisis plan for any repeat prescription request. Please contact GP. Blah blah blah. And it's got a list of like places to phone, all that stuff which isn't even relevant to me anyway. Capacity statement regarding treatment. Anna has a mental capacity to make decisions pertaining to treatment, welfare, extent of ongoing treatment. I reviewed Anna by video consultation today. She previously saw I was able to review her previous records and can see that she has 3 separate courses of CBT. Yeah, 3 separate courses of CBT, but that was like way back in. He doesn't even put good times when I had them. That was like back in 2007, I think it was, which is like ages ago. And then there was one in like 2000 and I can't quite remember. It was 2007 and then 2009. Shortly after I got diagnosed, that was supposed to be the second one, and the third one was like 2014 or something. So that's like ages ago, and it's like, how is that relevant to now? That was way before the pandemic when my condition was completely different. So we can't use that to deny me further therapy. It's absolutely disgusting. That's also part of my pal's complaint as well. And it's really disingenuous of him that he hasn't put the dates on this letter, because it implies like they were recent when they're not. Like, yeah, fair enough, if they were recent, although that would still be annoying, because obviously you can't treat it in 6 to 8 weeks, but I'll still be annoyed. But the fact is, they haven't even tried to treat me recently. Has recently had input from an occupational therapist here for a couple of months. But yeah, that was just completely hopeless. I mean, she didn't know I shouldn't swear, but she just wasn't an expert at all. She didn't know how to help me. That was just a complete waste of time. Had previously had the input of a day hospital at multiple medical appointments. Like, that was ages ago. That was like way back. That was way before the pandemic. So seriously. She admits that she did not independently do her homework in the CBT appointment treatment. It sounds like I'm at school or something. She did not do her homework. You know, I'm not at school. It's like, what the hell? She says, yeah, I couldn't do it independently. I needed to have a support worker. And? Just doesn't. It's a weird thing to put, isn't it? It just sounds like I'm being punished. You know, she didn't do her homework in detention. We're just going to slam the door on her. Bye-bye. She says she is housebound and has been, since the pandemic 5 years ago, very severe OCD. She added that she's got very severe health anxiety. She says she is terrified of illness, germs, contamination. She avoids people and her dad does the shopping. She does not like touching things and wash her hands, what she says excessively. She said she had to check appliances before she goes to bed. She will apparently threshold if someone around her has disease. In her spare time, she reads, is learning Welsh, is crafting, spends a lot of time on the internet. She spoke about the significant messaging about avoiding COVID at the moment. I explained that in the world at the moment there's not much messaging about COVID anymore in public areas, although apparently there is on Twitter. That is the patronising bit, which was a complete, so rude, so patronising, so offensive, and so dismissive. That's also part of my pal's complaint, by the way. It's so incredibly dismissive. Like, just because I've got severe OCD, like, he was effectively denying there's a pandemic, and there is still a pandemic. It doesn't matter if I've got OCD or not. The fact is there's still a pandemic, and I'm still living it, as are many, many, like, vulnerable people out there, regardless of whether or not they have OCD, and it's deeply traumatising, and the anger is real. Like, we're still waiting 5 years for bloody help, whether you've got mental health problems or physical health problems, and there's absolutely nothing. People taking the piss out of it, denying that there is a pandemic, is absolutely fucking disgusting, and that is why, and it makes me so angry, and that is why I am another big complaint, because I just feel sick about it. It's absolutely fucking vile. And seriously, that's why as one of you commented, he said, you never see me get angry for, because I am angry, and I've got a right to be angry, because it's absolutely disgusting. So yes. She also attends a few autism groups online. Unfortunately, she only manages to speak to father on the phone rather than in person. She said that her vaccines are really important to her, and they do help her OCD a little bit, particularly when workers come in and give to her in the garden. She really wants a support worker from Although, like I said, that organisation has ditched me, so that's a little bit of an inaccuracy, although it's not his fault, so I didn't really explain it to him properly, I don't think. But it's a little bit of an inaccuracy, because they can't help me anyway, that organisation. And she feels she was doing well when she had that, and she's on the social services waiting list for a review, but has been for a long time. I said that I could ask him to expedite this if possible. On mental state examination, she appeared appropriately dressed. It's like, yeah, and? It sounds like a report, like what psychiatrists used to do in the 1950s or something. It doesn't sound very modern. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It sounds a bit weird. It's like appropriately dressed and... Like, I'm hardly going to turn up naked, am I? Maybe, I don't know, say if I turned up in my pyjamas or something, would that be appropriately dressed? Don't know. She appeared appropriately dressed. Clean and kempt. Interesting. I don't actually wash it often, by the way, but clean and kempt. She engaged reasonably with good eye contact. Now that's funny, because I literally wasn't even looking at his face. I had his face minimised. I was actually looking at Google, so how could I be making good eye contact? I wasn't actually even looking at his face. That's really funny. It's interesting that in a previous psychiatric report they said I had poor eye contact, so it might just be pure luck that my eyes just happened to be glancing at him while I was actually looking at Google. Interesting. And rapport. Her speech was rapid at times, but interruptible. I think my speech got rapid when I was pissed off, and when I get pissed off, my voice does tend to get fast, so that must be why. That actually must be a sign I was getting stressed, actually. Yeah, and he was making me very stressed. Her mood appeared euphemic. I don't know what that word means. What does euphemic mean? I suppose, does that mean good? No, that must mean good, because you means good, doesn't it? Yeah, EU means good. Yeah, no, I know what that word means. It means good mood or good effect. Yeah, because phime is like feeling, so yeah, euphemic, that's what that means. I don't know what he means by affect reactive. What does affect reactive mean? Can someone tell me what affect reactive is? I've got absolutely no idea. There was no evidence of psychosis, and I had no concerns about cognition or insight, because I don't have psychosis, y'all. Clinical impression. Anna was requested further support from the team. I said that in some ways she was maybe eligible for an inpatient OCD treatment stay. I don't want to go to hospital, thank you very much. Like, what the hell has that got to do? Clearly does not know my needs at all. I want bloody care in the community, that's what I need. Outpatient care in the community. I'd literally have to be taken to a hospital, dragging... If someone wanted to take me to hospital, they'd have to sedate me and drag me out, because there's no living way I'd go into hospital, man. Unless I was, like, literally dying or something, do you know what I mean? Then I'd obviously have to go to hospital, right, you know. Yeah, and you don't have a choice, but you know what I mean. I don't quite understand what he says when he says maybe eligible for an inpatient OCD treatment stay. I was asking for community care, not an inpatient stay. However, as she has never tried an SSRI antidepressant, she will not meet the criteria. But I don't want to go into hospital anyway. I want outpatient community care. That's what I need. Actually, therapy in the community. Furthermore, from a psychiatric recommendation perspective, I can see that she has had significant input from the team over the years, but has never had medication. I don't know what he means by significant input, because that's going back way back to 2007, 8, 9. when I was a very different experience. I hadn't used Chapel Street for years before the pandemic, so that is incredibly disingenuous and wrong. That's another reason why I wanted the clinic in a minute, to ask for this to be edited, because I'm deeply dissatisfied. The fact that he's written such inaccuracies on my report is just shocking, and I need to get this corrected. I'm not willing to recommend further therapy unless she actually attempts to try my recommended treatment, which is a trial of an SSRI antidepressant. I mean, that just comes across as incredibly forceful and dogmatic and authoritarian. She wasn't happy with this and ended the call abruptly, saying she was going to complain. I'm sorry that she felt unhappy, but my recommendations remain that she tries an antidepressant. So anyway, so that's that's the thing. Yeah, as I say, he very much pissed me off. He was like that horrible toxic social worker I saw. Incredibly he gaslit me. I'd absolutely had it up to. I found the most offensive thing was when he denied that there's still a pandemic. Incredibly dismissive. Like yeah, just absolutely not on at all. Yeah. So let me know what you think anyway, and thank you for watching.